Welcome back into the Daft on Draft podcast. I am your host, Corey Kinnan. Again, Dalton is actually still, he's going to take a little hiatus from the show as he's moving back from Portugal at the end of the month. So just kind of riding out here with, and James is also out tonight. So James is filling in the meantime, as he did this past episode, but he is also out tonight. So we are going to do a Dafter draft. And again, one of our favorite episodes to do here, where we're just going to pitch out some hot takes and we're going to say whether or not we're dafting them or drafting them. If we're going to buy them or sell them here. But with me today, I have a good buddy of mine, Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. Ryan and I have been colleagues, for 5 years now? Probably like just started, shooting the shit on Twitter back in the day and then have hung out extensively at the Combine the last 3 years and are now in group chats together and things like that. So we are more than colleagues at this point. So Ryan, welcome to the Daft on Draft podcast.
I appreciate it, Corey. I didn't like hearing that I'm the fill-in for the fill-in. That kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but it's all right, man. It's all good.
Hey, I feel like you should feel great that like you are the in a pinch guy. Like I gotta get somebody to pinch.
Guy. Well, I have 2 kids. I have a family, so I am the responsible person. So you knew that I was probably available on a random Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday night?
It is Wednesday. Yeah.
Right now? Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, dude. I'm old and it's getting a little crazy. But yes, long relationship. Dude, you know what's funny? Me and Joe were actually talking about the other day, like 2019 draft Twitter maybe? Like is that around the right time? Like 2018, 2019 draft Twitter?
A lot 2019, of them, 2020 would have been from me, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of like the draft Twitter back then have kind of disappeared. Doesn't it feel like it's very few that have kind of remained around, and now it's like a new crop of draft Twitter that is like kind of popping up out of nowhere? It feels
it's like either they all work for like ESPN, The Ringer, or some other big network, or like they disappeared. Yeah, and then there's like a few of us floating in the nether.
Yeah, but we're doing well, man. I appreciate you for having me on as always.
All right, Ryan. So if you follow Ryan on Twitter, again, Rise and Draft on Twitter, you know that he is prone to the hot take or two throughout his time. He has mellowed out a little bit in his older age with children now as well. I can understand this. I also have 2 very young children and have also mellowed out over the years from lighting people up on Twitter back in the day. But let's dive into these hot takes. This should be a fun one. So first after draft, and again, these are all NFL draft related. So I don't have any fun ones on the docket today. Maybe we'll find inspiration by the end here. But Ryan, first after draft here. After draft, 2 safeties will be drafted before the first cornerback.
I mean, Daft, right?
Like, I don't think there's ever been 2 safeties drafted before a cornerback, right? I can't think of a time when that's happened.
Yeah. Well, here's my first question, just like about the 2026 class. Obviously, the assumption would be Caleb Downs, right? To be in the first safety taken. Who's the next safety, and what range would they be drafted? Like, that's a pretty important question, don't you think? Like, my answer would be Kamari Ramsey, right? Like, I love Kamari Ramsey out of USC, but like,
right,
I would take Kamari Ramsey in the late first.
But scouts don't.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I would personally take him like late first, early seconds, right? Like, so like I'm not talking about like 2 top 15 safeties here, and that's probably what you would need to have that happen, right? Like, I don't know.
So it almost happened in 2017, Jamal Adams and Malik Hooker, but Marshawn Lattimore was drafted between them at 11. I can't think of a draft where 2 safeties have come off the board before a corner.
It's probably like something in like the 80s or something like that. I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah. Who knows?
What does throw a wrench in this, though, is that, the Jermod McCoy ACL tear. If Jermod McCoy didn't tear his ACL, was 100% healthy, I'd say there's no way, because I think Jermod McCoy's tape based on 2024, he's a top 3 player in this class.
Agreed.
If he doesn't see the field till October and he's a step slow coming back and he puts out some ugly tape because of it, like there's a chance he goes back to school at that point.
Here's an interesting thing. So if you're right, and like, so the worst case scenario is Jermod McCoy is not healthy or something happens or whatever. The interesting part of the take is, who is cornerback 1 if it's not Jermod McCoy?
That's a great question, because I don't like this class. I mean, James and I talked about it in yesterday's episode. Like, I don't love this class outside of Jermod McCoy very much. So, I mean, we both really like, James and I both really like Keith Abney. And I think he's probably both of our CB2 right now. Right. But even then, like, I have a mid to late 2 on Keith Abney.
Sure. Right.
And so, like,
Xavier Scott from Illinois, if we count.
Dude, I watched Xavier Scott, right? And I didn't. I felt like Xavier plays really timid and really high hipped.
Interesting. You didn't like the hips. Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Or like really the reactive athlete, like the reaction time of like mirroring posts or mirroring digs or things like that. I felt like he kind of had to stutter a little bit before getting back into phase.
It's a pure projection conversation after McCoy, in my opinion, right? Like I think it's
It
almost
has to
going to be
be.
like pick your flavor. Like I like Will Lee out of Texas A&M. I think there's going to be some fans. I think he had pretty good spring grades, relatively speaking. So like, could he be a riser? Christian Gray from Notre Dame's a feast or famine guy, but like he had day 2 grade on NFS. Like, could he be a riser? I mean, there's a few of those guys. AJ Harris from Penn State. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question, but if Jermon McCoy is healthy, I think that this is no chance. Like, there's no chance that this happens. Zero.
Right. I think I'm still dafting it even if Jermon McCoy's not healthy because some corner's going to take a leap. And again, we just don't draft safeties high. Like the NFL does not draft safeties high. Caleb Downs will probably go high. We'll see by the end of the season. But yeah, again, like before the first corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm daft on that one as well. All right. So next one. Both Rueben Bain and Francisco Mauigoa. How do you pronounce his last name?
It's
Mauigoa. Is it
Mauigoa?
Mauigoa. Okay.
I can't remember. It's something like that.
It's tough. Both have a lot of love in draft Twitter. Mauigoa has some love on NFS and Blusto as well because I mean he's pretty good. Rueben Bain obviously not as adored. I mean if we look at Dane Brugler released his edge rankings and Rueben Bain is not even in his top 7 edge rushers.
And he had like a late third on NFS or something like that too. So
yeah. And his 4th underclassman edge rusher.
Yeah.
So this draft, but again, Rueben Bain, there's a lot of people in draft Twitter, a lot of people in my Discord who are like, Rueben Bain's the best edge in this class. He's one of the best players in this class. So after draft, Miami will have the top edge and the top offensive tackle drafted in the 2026 draft, and I'm drafting both of those. Like if I could draft each of those, I would draft it independently, but I'm drafting it as a whole as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole makes it like an easy one, right? You know what's interesting though, Corey? Like if it was just about Francis being the offensive tackle 1, like I wouldn't do that, right? Like I personally would not, because I actually prefer him in tighter quarters. So I think he's an interior player, like I do. But I don't dislike him as an interior player necessarily on the next level. But like, would the NFL draft that kid as the first offensive tackle off the board? I don't think that's like the most blasphemous thing that's ever been stated. Like I could see it happening, right? So that one isn't wild and crazy. The Rueben Bain thing, and quick rant real quick. Quick rant. You know my thoughts about Rueben Bain already. I don't understand Rueben Bain. I don't understand. So edge, right? What are the things that you value most on the edge, Corey? What are the things you most value on the edge typically, right? Length, get off, bends, like all of these traits. And yes, he has power. And I know you really like power on the edge especially. And that's cool. Like he's a physical dude. There's no doubt about that. But he is sawed off. He's listed at 6'3". I'd be shocked if he's 6'2". Like I think that he is very short. I think he's got T-Rex arms. I do not think that he could play outside of his frame at all. And I think he's stiff as a board. So like I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, that is not a top 10 NFL draft pick. Like it's not, because the guys that are the stiff guys that tend to rise, like what's Tyree Wilson a couple years ago, right? Tyree Wilson was 6'5" with vines,
35-inch arms. I mean?
Like, exactly. Like
and the one thing he had was explosiveness and get off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he looked like it, right? Technically, Rueben Bain on the edge is an outlier. Like he is an outlier from an arm length, height perspective. Like he is not a traditional guy that goes in the top 10 to 15. And I don't think the NFL loves him from everything that we've talked and everything we've seen. Like I don't think that they love him that much. I think, and this might be a hot take. Maybe I can put a hot take in a hot take here. I think Rueben Bain would be better off of just adding some more weights and being a pure interior player. Like I really do think that he would be better off that way, because if you watch him at Miami last year, there were multiple games where they're already playing him in an odd man front as like a 4-4-I at times. Like they're doing that already because he plays better in tighter quarters where he can utilize that length, where he can play with leverage. And I don't hate him in that role. And right now he's probably 6'1" and 5/8 and 278 pounds. That's probably what he is.
That's my question. How much do you think he weighs? And then what would be like a
a
comparable NFL player to what that role would look like at 6'1", like
Kancey?
280, 285. Okay.
Kancey? I mean,
Even
he's even a little
Kancey's probably
taller
yeah.
than Kancey. I don't know, man. Like I don't understand the fit on the edge, and I don't value that type of player that high in the draft. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, he's a weird evaluation for me. One of the weirder
I'm
ones
with
I've
you
had so
there.
far.
Yeah. Like, you have to be able to win through the chest because, I mean, if you look at the last two NFL Rookie of the Years, they're both dudes who convert speed to power at a very high level. Very
Mm-hmm.
explosive. But again, those guys have get off. Like, Will Anderson, we're talking about Will Anderson and Jared Verse, two guys that, like, long arm is their ace. That's their ace.
Yes, it is.
But neither of those guys are stiff either. I think Verse probably a little tighter in the ankles than
Yeah.
Anderson, but neither of those guys are stiff either. You have to
Yeah.
be able to change it up too. Like, I think speed to power has to be there, but you have to have a change up. I don't
Yes.
know. I think a lot of Bain's best reps come 3.5, 4 seconds into a play where he has like pinballed off of blockers into the quarterback a little bit, which
Yeah.
isn't like that's not like a trait. That's not a pass rush plan. That's not like what do you call that? A hot motor? Like that's great. I love players who have a hot motor, but like what is how does that translate against an NFL guard, against an NFL center?
He for me, like I think best case is that he is I don't even say fringe starter. Let's say if he hits his absolute peak, maybe he's a starter in an even front as a defensive end. But the best impact that I still think he's going to get is when he reduces down in obvious passing situations as an interior rusher. Like I still think that's going to be his best. I just don't think he's going to win off the edge much. Like I just
Yeah.
don't think he is. And are we drafting a guy in the top 10 that is a pure edge setter with minimal length that can't affect the quarterback? Like, are we doing that? I wouldn't do that. I don't think the NFL will do that either. I don't think they will.
Yeah. Completely agree. And then on the flip side of that, offensive tackle, dude, I just adore Spencer Fano. Like that's just where I'm at with Spencer Fano. Dude, like James has him at like he's got some access to some tracking data that I don't. That has him at a 95th like a 95th to 98th percentile athlete, and it shows up on tape. That core strength is ridiculous. Like to me, that's the best tackle in the class because he looks the part. He's a little undersized, but he's got a great frame. Like he looks the part. He looked like on tape, and so like, and with Mauigoa, I agree as well that I think I would consider like would love to condense him down a little bit where he's not like long setting. Yeah, so I'm gonna adapt that as well.
Yep. Can I just say for the offensive tackle conversation real quick, like the things that I think it's interesting to talk about like evaluation process and stuff. Some of the things that I value when I evaluate offensive tackles specifically are one, flexibility, and right, that's
Yep.
the ability to recover because offensive tackles are going to be put into conflict constantly, right? And the do they have the composure? Do they have the balance to be able to get themselves back into a proper body position to recover? Do you have that flexibility ultimately? Another thing is foot quickness, right? Like that's just a general thing. Like, can you
Absolutely.
get to your set points, both from an inside set, outside set? Like, can you set and can you recover inside? Like, can you do those things? And the other thing for me is core strength. Like those three things are that's like the three core competencies to start the evaluation process. Now, after that, it's like, the technical side of things and hand nuance and proper set points and spacing, like all those types of things. But those three things are very important. And for me, Mauigoa is, from a foot quickness perspective, is average, right?
Average.
From a flexibility perspective, is average for an offensive tackle, is plus for an interior player, but for an offensive tackle, I think it's pretty average. And then his core strength is great, which is cool. But that's one of three of the core competencies that I personally value at the offensive tackle position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, moving on. This one's tough too because there aren't a lot of consensus number one players in this class at their positions, but this one's from my Discord as well from Cmoog. 5 of 11 positions will have a new consensus number one player by the draft and during summer scouting. So we got to go through here and kind of sort out which positions have a consensus number. Like quarterback does not have a consensus number one right now.
It doesn't.
Running back, I would say does.
Because you're Mendoza, obviously. I have Sellers at quarterback one right now. So like that's
people love Aller, people love Nuss. Yeah, it's all over the board. Arch, if you want to throw Arch in that conversation.
Sure.
I would say running back does with Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
I would say wide receiver does at Jalen Tyson or Jaden Tyson.
Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson. Jesus. Jordan Tyson.
Yep.
I would say tight end does with Max Clare.
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep.
I would say offensive tackle doesn't.
all over the board.
This guard class is a shit show, so I don't know what to make of this guard class. Like, NFS doesn't have a single one above a 4th round grade.
That's why I want to move Mauigoa inside, man. I'm like, save this guard class, brother. Go do it.
Would we say Brailford is consensus C1?
Not for
I mean,
me.
people like Jake Slaughter, but
I like Greg Johnson from Minnesota. That's my
yeah,
guy
I like
so
Greg
far,
Johnson
so,
too.
Yeah, that's
so it's no consensus at center. I would say Keldrick Falk is consensus at edge.
Yes, I would say a lot of the big wigs that I've seen, as far as like having the biggest voices in the industry, and then NFS and Blesto both are very high on Keldrick Falk. So yes, agreed.
Defensive tackle Peter Woods, I would say, is consensus there. So that's 5.
Yeah.
Linebacker
CJ Allen, right? I mean,
is it CJ Allen?
I haven't really heard anybody else claim anybody else to be linebacker 1, right? So I mean, I guess he would be consensus of people that I've heard.
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll call that one 6.
Okay.
Corner, Jermon McCoy.
Yeah.
7.
Yes.
Safety, Caleb Downs is very much the consensus safety. So we've got 8. So let's consensus down. We have 5 of 11 here. If we only have 8, let's consensus after draft down to 4 of 8 positions. So we'll say half. We'll have a new consensus number 1 player by the 2026 NFL draft.
I'm gonna draft it actually. I think because I think that wide receiver can be a little bit up in the air. Like, I love Jordan Tyson, so like I'm good with Jordan Tyson, but it's open, and plus Jordan Tyson has some rough medicals potentially, right? Yeah. So like we'll see. Tight end Max Clare, I mean, like, he's clear for me, but like, what if he gets lost in the Ohio State offense and then someone comes out of nowhere? Like, I mean, that's always possible that happens, right? Defensive end. That one's a tough one.
TJ Parker had played really well the back half of the season. If he comes out the front half like the back half,
dude, if he does anything close to what he did against Pitt, like consistently, it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
What he did against Kelvin Banks is
unreal too. His best games are right in the top of the class. It's just can we stack more of those really good games, you know? So yeah. I'm still going to draft it though, because like I think that there's volatility potentially at wide receiver, tight end, defensive end could be a conversation with TJ Parker. Maybe there's a riser there, and linebacker I think is one that can be up in the air.
Sonny Styles,
I mean Sonny Styles is in that conversation. If he takes a step from just his processing coverage ability and that type of stuff, like he could do it.
So my thing with Sonny Styles is I think he could very much have a Jahad Campbell type perception by the, because he's 6'3", he's a legit 6'3", 235, like a converted safety as well, like athletic as hell. So,
and he was playing like mid-hole safety for Ohio State the year before, so obviously he's athletic as hell.
Yeah, he was following Colson Loveland in the Michigan game. Like they were having him do way too much. I want them to just stick him stacked at the second level and let him play football.
Agreed.
That's what I want them to let him
do. Let him run from the will spot, and absolutely.
I'm gonna draft it too. I like Jordan Tyson, but I have a second round grade in Jordan Tyson.
That's
so like I think there's definitely room for somebody to rise. Like Denzel Boston has the HWT, like height weight speed, HWS, the height weight speed stuff to kind of go. If Carnell Tate can kind of figure out the nuances of the position, Carnell Tate's so weird to me. He's so weird to me because he's like the anti Brian Hartline wide receiver, where he is like extremely natural, but almost looks undialed in, like not locked in. Like all of the little details is like you could be doing everything better.
Which is kind of weird because if you followed his recruitment when he was coming out, so he was a Chicago kid and then he went to IMG. He was kind of viewed as like this like super nuanced high floor player coming out of high school, which is like very interesting that it's kind of switched a little bit, you know? So but he is working with Brian Hartline though. So like the odds of him figuring it out are pretty high, right?
Yeah.
So
I think we're pretty locked in at defensive tackle. I think we're pretty locked in at corner pending Jermon McCoy's return.
Caleb Banks overtaking Peter Woods at some point, though? I mean, like, that's not unrealistic, but...
It's not, but also you got like Peter Woods versus a 24-year-old by the draft, right? I think that plays into it as well.
I also... Me and Joe had a discussion about Peter Woods on our last show, and I am significantly higher on Peter Woods than him. Like, he doesn't dislike Peter Woods.
Peter Woods is my number one player in this class.
Dude, it's so easy, isn't it? Like, he is a player that you could watch 10 plays and be like, yep, that's good. We're good here. We're good.
Watch that guy get lateral and run towards the boundary at 30, whatever he is. Like that dude is barreling.
And they're actually
gonna
play him at a position that he should be playing this year, which is yes, let's do that instead of him playing like even front edge all the time for some damn reason. Like, if they make any sense. Yeah, agreed.
I really like Jeremiah Love at running back. I will say we'll see how CJ Baxter comes back because CJ Baxter is very talented.
He is.
But I really like Jeremiah Love, and that's going to be tough to move on, I think.
It's definitely a draft then, right? Like, is there any position?
Yeah.
I mean, so it sounds like you're pretty like it's Peter Woods. So I would say it's Peter Woods, and if Jeremiah McCoy's healthy, that's a lock.
It's Jeremiah McCoy.
Everybody else
and
is
probably Jeremiah Love.
Yes. Oh yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's my running back 2 right now. I don't even know who my running back 2 is. I need to bring that up.
Again, if we're going to be drafting tight ends who just can split out and run fast and catch the football first every year from here on out, then like maybe John Michael Gillenborg goes way higher than we think he could. Well, the thing is, Wyoming's got to throw the freaking football to him.
Yeah,
but that dude's a freaking freak.
He was banged up a lot this year too, right? Like he missed a few games with something.
Yeah. But again, Max Clare can do the same kind of stuff. So maybe I think tight end might. But last year we said that with Colson Lovin. Like we were during the summer, we're like Colson Lovin's tight end 1, and I don't see that changing. And it ended up that was the case. But like by the end of the season, Tyler Warren was my tight end 1, who had he had day 3 grades coming out of the summer. So like
someone will emerge at tight ends, and dude, I love Max Clare though. Like Max Clare he just reminds me so much of Zach Ertz, like a young Zach Ertz, where I'm just like, yeah, that's Zach Ertz. I'm good here. Yep.
Yeah. Dalton and I felt really iffy saying it, but like the way he moves and the way he like navigates zone coverage to me was like, this might be the closest thing I've seen to Travis Kelce, what Travis Kelce is doing in Kansas City to Travis. But like, you feel really iffy saying those things about guys who are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. So like, but
that's the role,
I didn't want to throw that out there.
It's the stylistic role. It's what he would do ideally on the NFL level. And I agree. Like he fits that role. Like he is a detached weapon who can also line up in line at times, right? Like he
gives effort.
The
effort's there.
He gives effort. Yeah. He's only 238 pounds, which is like, all right, let's bulk that up a little bit. But he's really good. Really good player.
Yeah. All right, let's draft that. All right, last 2 we got here, quarterback related. We'll start with the prospect related one, and then we'll end with the philosophy related one here. So prospect related one, this is spurned by discourse with you. TCU quarterback Josh Hoover will be a top 5 quarterback by the 2026 NFL draft. There are 2 things that play into this.
Yep.
And they kind of work on opposite ends of the spectrum. Quarterbacks are getting paid $4 to $6 million to play college football, and that number is only going to go up as the market goes up.
Yep.
He's only a 4th year. He could very well go back to school. On the opposite end of the spectrum, he is a 4th year. So if he has a good year, he has no reason to there's really no reason for him to go back to school if he's getting really good feedback compared to some of the we got a lot of redshirt sophomores in this class, man. A lot of redshirt sophomores in this class. So this is a pretty nuanced conversation. I'm going to Daft it, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, I'm going to draft it since I have him at QB5 right now, right? So I'll draft it right now. But, I mean, it is, like, if I'm being realistic, though, right? Like, I'm lower on Drew Aller, for instance, than the NFL is. Like, I just am. Will Drew Aller probably be a first-round pick? Most likely, right? Like the NFL's probably going to do that. I think they will, Corey. Like I really think they will. We'll see.
But my thing is, if they would have, then why didn't he come out this past year when he like really wanted to? Right?
I mean, he had a pretty good grade this year, though, didn't he? Like this offseason? Like I don't know, man. Like
NFS has a 3rd round grade on him.
Oh, was that what it was? Was it a 3rd round?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean,
NFS's highest graded player was Nussmeier with a late 1st, early 2nd.
Okay. Oh, Blessed had your boy Carson Beck as the top quarterback, so you never know
that's
those
also
grades
true.
Sometimes. You never know what those grades sometimes, but I don't know, man. Every cliche you talk about of getting overdrafted at the quarterback position is Drew Aller, though. Like he is the cliche. He is tall, white, experienced, and supposedly a winner, even though I don't think he's actually a winner, but that's whatever, a different conversation. He fits the prototype, though, of like guys. He is Blaine Gabberts. Like, he is Blaine Gabberts, reincarnated. Like, this is what goes early in drafts. So, I think he goes early. Garrett Nussmeier probably goes early unless he completely tanks the season. Like, the NFL seems to like him. And, I like Garrett Nussmeier a lot more than I like Drew Aller. Like, I'll just put that out in the universe. Like, I like him a whole lot more than I like Drew Aller. So he'll probably go pretty early. The next question is Lenore Sellers. What jump does he make? And does he declare? He's only made a redshirt sophomore. He could go back if he wants to. And like you said, he's especially a kid that can make a whole lot of NIL money if he wanted to make a whole lot of NIL money. So does he go back? Fernando Mendoza, does he take the jump as a redshirt junior going from Cal to Indiana? Is he a guy that takes the leap after 2025? I mean, the quarterback class is just so up in the air as far as I think it can go a lot of different directions. Like, it really could. So I'm going to draft it just because that's how I see it now, but I could end up being very wrong about that. And Josh Hoover might not even come out. I mean, so like I might be very wrong. So we'll see.
I'm going to daft this because as much as I love Josh Hoover's tools, man, like his arm is elastic and there's a ton of velocity on that on that football when he throws that football. He fits the mold of a quarterback who makes me want to run my head through drywall, though. Like,
sure.
To a T. Him and John Mateer both fall in that same tier of quarterback to me that just like, you guys have amazing tools.
Sam Levitt's in that tier as well for me to a degree.
Yeah,
so,
I actually like Levitt a bit more than both those guys. But you very much kind of that same mold where like you guys have amazing tools, but you guys are running from nobody. Like, you guys are just like bailing on 3-man fronts with like tons of room to step up. And like, why? What are we doing here? Like, that doesn't work for me. And then like Hoover's ball placement is kind of all over the map. He's a spray shooter in my opinion as well. Same with Mateer. Like, those guys are both like spray shooters in my opinion, where like I don't know where that ball's going when it leaves his hand. Like, I have no idea where that ball's going when it leaves his hand. So I have some qualms with Josh Hoover. I actually released my quarterback rankings today, and a little bit because of, a little inexperience, but like mainly because of the accuracy and like the from structure and the mental side of things. I have him at QB 15, so I see that quite a bit differently from you.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
And here's the thing with me though, I will take those like lesser tool guys, but who can get the ball out on time, who are accurate with the football, and who can stand in structure and throw the football on, like, even under pressure. Because when we're talking about outside of the first, second round, like, I feel like we get away from just taking shots on trades to like, okay, I'm drafting a backup who I can have him under contract for 4 years. And if I need to come in, I can at least see the floor with. That's right. Fair. With Hoover, with Mateer, I have no goddamn clue where their floor's at.
Yeah,
that's like I don't have a clue.
Do you remember when Cole McDonald came out of Hawaii?
Yes.
I feel like that was kind of the same conversation. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, the guy's the toolsy day 3 player," and I'm just like, "Do they really take toolsy day 3 quarterbacks?" Like,
no,
they
you want a cheap backup under contract for 4 years, where if you have to put that guy in the game, you know that they can drive the bus. And so, like, that's why I see, like, as much as I really don't even like Miller Moss or Carson Beck, I kind of see those guys as like at least on time when things are right. They're going to get the ball out on time and they're going to be accurate with the football. Beck is a little bit more of a wild card because that guy can't find a robber to save his life. At least he couldn't last year. But, or I guess he could find them really well if you want to look at it the other way. I guess he was actually really good at finding the robber. But
Miller Moss is one of the worst arms I've ever evaluated.
He does have such a bad arm, man. But I don't care. Like, to me, like, so did Colt McCoy. But Colt McCoy was a backup for 10 years because he could come in and he could just do the bare minimum when he had to come in and do the bare minimum. And Moss, like, for as bad as his arm is like, he'll take a shot to the chin and he'll throw the backside dig. He'll stand in structure. And he's accurate. Like, if I'm talking about a day 3 guy, I want to see a floor, and I can see their floors. Like, I can see the floor. And so I'm gonna daft this. Accuracy is tough to fix, man. But for Hoover, that guy throws off platform for no freaking reason. So like if he can like get some grits and just like decide like, okay, I'm gonna stand in, I'm gonna climb, and I'm gonna throw from my base, maybe that'll solve a lot of his accuracy issues. Because this guy just like, to me, he reminds me of 2021 Spencer Rattler, where Spencer Rattler lit up the stat sheet for Oklahoma, but that dude's always rolling to his right. That guy's always drifting in the pocket. That guy's always running from nobody and throwing off platform for no reason. And so to me, that's kind of the feel I have from Hoover. I think Hoover's a better athlete than Rattler is, but like, kind of
Yeah,
that same arm talent-ish, and also that same kind of like,
body
dude, where
type.
are you going kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
they have similar
Um,
body types too. That's my one thing that I really
uh-huh.
dislike about Hoover is he's listed like 6'2", 200, and there's no way he's 6'2". Like there's zero chance in the world. He might be like 6 foot and like 7/8 or something like that. Like there's a
Mhm.
chance he's sub 6 foot 6'1". So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I would say this though. My thing about Hoover, I thought I was going to turn Hoover on and I was just going to be like, that guy is a really fun college quarterback with like limited tools. And I thought the tools were like, oh,
No,
okay.
the arm goes. The arm goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right. Take me by surprise a little bit there. I like it. So yeah, we'll see. It's a little bit of a gamble, but we'll see how the season unfolds, obviously.
Yeah, that arm goes burr for sure. All right, last one is also a quarterback question here, and we'll get out here on this one. This one's a philosophy question, also from Cam from my Discord, and
Okay.
this one is Daft or Draft. Truly great QBs come from great organizations that surround with talent and stability, as opposed to just innate ability. I'm gonna Daft this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
Daft this one.
yeah. I think that's like
I think
it's like
this is
home.
coming off of the heels of the Jalen Hurts Super Bowl win, right? But like, I also think the Eagles have built a 99th percentile roster. Like, that's not a blueprint. I mean, it is the blueprint, but like,
Sure.
not every franchise has the owner's cap, like cash ceiling, to spend outside of the cap like that. Howie Roseman gets away with, he finds guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's aggressive. Like, he's an aggressive GM, probably the most aggressive GM in terms of trading up for guys that he really wants in the draft. Um, so that's like a 99th percentile outcome. In the meantime, I look at like Tom Brady winning a lot of Super Bowls with like Nate Solder, first round pick Nate Solder, right? But like behind an offensive line that was kind of always pieced together, behind a running back room that was always a committee with like LeGarrette Blount and James White, and names
Yep.
that like there was never a running back that he could like Lamar Jackson's Derrick Henry, where he can just turn the ball off and trust this guy's going to get 5 yards for me every time I hand him the ball. And then we're talking about receivers. Like his best receiver his entire NFL career was Randy Moss that one year,
Yep.
and then a converted Kent State quarterback who was just like
The
a
Wes
soldier over the middle
Welker
of the field.
disrespect. The Wes
And Wes Welker.
Welker.
Okay. And two CTE wide receivers over the middle of the field, and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. And then like outside of that, it was like Brandon Tate deep down the field. Like receivers like that is they patch these units around him. Like okay, fine. Also, the greatest tight end of probably the past decade, past 20
Yeah.
years as well. Sure.
Yep.
Okay, that helps. That helps. Sure.
The
But also
the other
Patrick
guy that
Mahomes.
liked to kill people was also pretty good before that happened. So
Well,
the tight
that's
end.
true.
But yeah.
But then also like look at the wide receivers that Patrick Mahomes has thrown to the past 3 seasons.
True.
Again, he has Travis Kelce. I get it. Look at the running backs that he's handed the ball to the past 3 seasons. A washed
And
Kareem Hunt, a 7th round pick coming off an injury in Isaiah
yeah.
Pacheco, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which is the worst first round pick I've seen the Chiefs make in a very long time.
Who would have thought that would have turned out horrible?
Right, I had a 4th round grade on him that year.
I hated Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
Well, here, so it's funny when you said the original question, I was confused on whether they were talking about the developmental infrastructure or the infrastructure after getting drafted. So like
That's a good question. That's interesting as well. It could be development. I guess great organizations, developmental infrastructure has to be. But this says that surrounds them with talent stability.
Right.
Talent stability could also be coaching staff, could also be player development.
I mean, I think you need a good culture and a good coaching staff. Like I think those are requisites to being a good quarterback in the NFL level for the most part. But if we're talking about like the developmental track for like college, if we're talking about like that infrastructure, the best 3 of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL right now went to Texas Tech, Wyoming, and Louisville. Right? It's like that's not like your typical great program. That's not like Ohio State's. That's not like LSU. That's not like those types of programs. So I think it almost comes off as like helmet scouting to me from an evaluation perspective from college to the NFL. Like they can come from anywhere. It just matters about finding the right fits in a scheme that makes sense in a situation that makes sense. But yeah, I think you hit it on the other side is that when they get to the NFL, there are some requisites that you need, like you can't throw no disrespect here, but you can't throw like a great player necessarily on the Cleveland Browns and expect him to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like it's just not how that works. Like that's not a sustainable product. but I agree with you. I don't think that the great quarterbacks are elevators at the core, right? And they can make what around them better as long as there's a good infrastructure behind them. And that infrastructure, I think, comes from the people that are making the culture every single day around the room. It's about the head coach and the offensive coordinator infrastructure. So like as long as that stuff's good, I think that they can work with what's around them most likely on the NFL level. But I think either way, I'm going to Daft this one.
Yeah. We're on the same page there. All right, Ryan. Well, that's a 35-minute episode there. That's some good work. Again, thank you so much for coming on. It won't be the last time, I'm sure of it. So, Ryan,
Appreciate it.
Plug your stuff. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, at Rise and Draft on Twitter. If you go on YouTube, you can just Google A to Z Sports Film Room. You can check out, we're doing scouting reports, position rankings, probably do a couple mock drafts before the summer's over, even though I absolutely hate preseason mock drafts, but like, let's do it. People read them. So like, let's do it. But yeah, A to Z Sports. If you guys like college football, NFL draft, the NFL side of things, got you all covered there. So thank you for having me though, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, on the Daft on Draft side of things, I did release my quarterback rankings. If you just want to pay to read one article and don't want to sub, just pay the $8 for the month and then cancel immediately after you pay for the $8. I don't give a crap. If that's what it takes, do it. Cool. Again, all it takes is a free subscription to get into the Discord channel, though. There's like 60 people in there right now. We're all just talking ball all the time. It's pretty fun. Spit and takes out there as well. But outside of that, man, that's all I've got. And this is going to be it for this episode of the Daft on Draft podcast.